Ahoy, hoy, I'm Pavo.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to episode 23 of That's No Moon.
It's a podcast.
And we're back. Sorry that we weren't here last week. I can't even remember why we weren't here last week.
We were busy.
We were busy.
I can't remember what we were doing.
I can't remember either. It doesn't matter.
We had to do something else. Something else.
We were doing something productive.
Yeah, we had to do something else last week.
But we are back.
Yes.
We are back with your weekly dose of all news that is Star Wars. So Neil, kick us off.
I will do. There's a couple
of
stories from the last week, so people might have seen some of them, but I will catch up with you about them as well. And I do have
You turn the fire off.
Oh yes.
We
forgot that one, didn't we?
We did.
We were all bathing in glowing Death Star light.
Yeah.
So I have a rumour for you. Although it's not movie related or movie plot related, it is about the Star Wars convention, which obviously we went to last year. I almost said this year. Last year. And it was great. And so this year's convention, which is in, obviously, Florida, will mainly, they say, be focused on The Last Jedi, with the main panels being about The Last Jedi. Now, I'm sure they will put other bits in. So this time, Disney are putting a lot of effort into their D23 fan event in Anaheim, where it said they will announce the Han Solo title for the movie. And they will also the panels will be Han Solo-centric. So there'll be like two conventions now. So you got the one in Florida and then the one in Anaheim. Now, this is all subject to the film still going out at May. The rumour is about if it goes out in May, that is. Sorry.
Well, that's not the rumour now. It's been announced.
I know it's been announced, but they're still prone to changing it, aren't they? Because they did originally announce The Force Awakens as May, wasn't it? It's given a confirmed date, and then it was. They said it was delayed, wasn't it?
But I think it's been sort of officially announced that it's May now, and it's not going to change. So
yeah, and so I mean, it makes sense as well, because if you remember, like last year's, the one we went to was very, very Rogue One centric, wasn't it? So it was the film at the time. I think this one would be right that it would be The Last Jedi centric. So what do you think on that?
Well,
are you a fan of the D23? I mean, I know we've watched bits, haven't we?
Yeah, we don't know much. It tends to be not a lot of it tends to get out as much as, say, San Diego Comic-Con or anything like that. But when they say that it's going to be like Last Jedi centric, as in the Star Wars Celebration, it's like that'll be one panel.
Yeah, there's usually three.
There'll be other panels as well. I mean, I think I've heard or I've read somewhere online that they're not going to do a future movies panel,
right?
Which I think is a good idea, because unless they're going to have and everybody that went to last year's panel, last year's convention, like us, we had a fantastic time, but it was very light on the news.
Yeah.
What we actually learned about upcoming projects was next to nothing.
What we already knew.
Yeah, so I think they need to do things. I mean, when it comes to Celebration, I think we're going to get a teaser trailer.
I think that's where the first Last Jedi trailer will break.
I think, and I think we may get. See, I think that we may get some Han Solo news.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised
if
they didn't do at least a panel for the Han Solo thing, but maybe like the trailer would break at the D23, keep it away, so all the focus is on, the Last Jedi, and it'll all be centered around that. Because if you bear in mind, last year we got the Rogue One exclusive little bit, didn't we? For us on the Rogue One panel, but we didn't get anything else. We didn't get any other teaser trailers or anything. I know the Rebels, but we didn't go to that panel. Got stuff, but we didn't get anything else. So the future filmmakers had nothing, did it? Apart from the actors coming out, which was nice to see. But like you said, we didn't gain or incite us with any new news that we didn't know before going in that hall.
The difference is going to be this year is that they have been filming since January, February time. Yeah. So it's not like they haven't got something that they could knock up a quick, even a behind the scenes bit of footage of Han Solo or a brief teaser trailer.
I mean, it does make sense that the D23, they separate it too, and then it makes it a big announcement for each thing then, doesn't it? So each thing's got a huge... Because if you think, by the time the D23 comes out, Pirates has already been and gone. they'll probably give a teaser to the next Disney film that they've got coming out after Beauty and the Beast. So there's stuff like that will be released. So whether it be Dumbo and Tim Burton and all that, Star Wars is their next big thing, and it's going to be Star Wars and Infinity War at that D23. It's going to be. I would imagine they'll probably release something from the Infinity War.
Yeah, when is D23?
July the 14th and 16th, you see. So we will have had Guardians.
So well, I'm thinking more of the fact of they do a teaser trailer at Star Wars Celebration for The Last Jedi. Would they maybe... Isn't that around the time that an actual first trailer might drop?
Could be. So they just extend The Last Jedi into D23 and...
Because, well, it's not that... I mean, they're gonna be ramping up the promotion for The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
From April all the way up to December. So it's not like it would be a natural thing for there to be a trailer, I would think, around sort of summertime anyway. I just find it strange when they say they're going to concentrate on one and another, because in the end it's only going to be like for The Last Jedi for Star Wars Celebration, it's going to be an hour and a half long panel. Then that's it. But you're also going to get a panel. I'm assuming Mark Hamill will do a panel. Or they'll do I know they're doing a celebration of the 40 years of Star Wars as a panel, which is starting off on the Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
They're going to obviously do some kind of tribute to Carrie Fisher.
They will.
So they've got all these different panels. It's not like there's 6 or 7 panels on The Last Jedi.
No.
It's just that's going to be the main focus. I can understand that.
That's what they call the main panel.
Yeah, that's why. When they say that they're going to concentrate on it, I think that seems to be a bit sort of like. And D23 isn't just Star Wars.
No, it's Disney.
Yeah. So again, with that, I still think that they're going to drop something of Han Solo at Star Wars Celebration.
But then we've been burnt with that.
Well, we have, but
yeah.
I can't see how they're going to get away with it for another year. Another year. That we had so little news last year. I don't think they're going to let the fans are going to let them get away with doing that again. Well, especially now it's back in America.
It's not long.
It's not long at all.
When is that one? That's April.
That's Easter weekend.
Yeah. So, that'd be interesting.
It will.
We'll have to keep an eye on both things. Anyway.
Well, I've booked a day off work for the Friday, so the Thursday, so I can stay.
So with that, just going back to that, they're going Thursday, Friday, Saturday, are they?
And Sunday.
So they're doing 4 days. We have 3 and they have 4.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah. So they're doing the Thursday. Like I say, the first panel is a special celebration of the 40 years of Star Wars. And then then Good Friday is the Last Jedi panel.
Do you think Harrison Ford would come out for that?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if George Lucas isn't there.
Well, yeah, I've seen rumour that he's
as a
special guest.
A special guest. But there's so much stuff. I think all the stuff that we sort of talked about last year, announcing maybe a Kenobi movie or a Boba Fett movie, I think all of that sort of stuff is going to happen. My personal view. That's
a lot of stuff, isn't it? Spoilt. And it just makes me a bit gutted.
There you go.
Anyway, so J.J. Abrams this week, at the beginning of this week, spoke to the New York Daily News about the upcoming Star Wars, and he spoke about Mark Hamill. On Hamill, he was asked by Entertainment Online, Mark Hamill keeps posting about what you said to him on that cliff. Abrams replied, actually, he's very funny. I always think that, frankly, that he has been a little bit underrated. Look what he had to do to bring 3PO and R2-D2 to life in a way. His work was always incredible, and there he was in that sadly short scene at the end of The Force Awakens, and he had to convey a whole lot with no dialogue. So it's a lot harder in a way than you might think. He's a terrific actor, and I can't wait for everyone to see what he finally does say. And then he had very good words to speak about Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi, saying that how much of a great filmmaker he is and a storyteller, and that his involvement is minimal, as Rian is a filmmaker who doesn't need babysitting. So he's obviously been a bit more hands-on than I think he's trying to portray, just looking in. He's going to be a producer, I would imagine. He is a producer, so... JJ, I think we need to thank him for bringing Star Wars back to life and being that fan and not putting so many lens flares in his film. That film.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to say on that,
Ryan? Ryan and then Gary?
I really said Gabby.
Gavin. How long have we been doing this? And all of a sudden, I'm Gavin.
Dear. Ryan and Gavin.
Goodness me. Well, no. What is he going to say? He's not going to say, well, yeah, it was an absolute nightmare working with that shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, do you? Some people might be
I don't think JJ is that kind of person. I don't think Mark Hamill's that kind of person. Mark Hamill's one of those guys that I think he just enjoys what he does.
Yeah. He seems like a genuinely nice guy, doesn't he? I mean, when we saw him on going back to Celebration-Centric, it's like a big box of chocolates. He was great on his panel. I mean, you could tell he was the professional doing that.
But you could tell. I mean, I've watched a few videos of him at other panels, and I'm not knocking him, but it is literally word for word the same that he said. So he's got it down. He knows exactly what he's saying.
Well, he needed no sort of host, as it were, of his panel, did he? Like Princess Leia, obviously, was. Carrie Fisher had Warwick Davis there, and it's good to have the bounce back, and it was very funny. He just came on and started, boom, and off he went.
Yeah, he's a raconteur, isn't he?
He is,
and he knows how to tell a story. He knows what kind of anecdotes are going to work for wherever he is.
Yeah, he can gauge an audience.
Yeah, he's very good, and he's a good showman, and he's he knows what he's doing. And I did see that, and I think he mentioned jokingly that what Mark Hamill does in The Last Jedi, he should be up for an Oscar next year.
Right.
But I think it was more of like he was just sort of paying tribute to him rather than saying that it's an Oscar-worthy performance. But
never know, it might be. Be great, actually, to see a Star Wars film get something that kudos with the actors.
It would, but I don't. It's
Best
not.
Wookiee.
It's not a trendy thing to do, is it? It's all
Best droid.
Yeah.
Come on then, Gavin.
Thank you, Colin.
So, they've added to the cast of the Han Solo movie, which they're currently filming in Spain, like we said before.
We said weeks ago.
We did. With the Wire actor Michael K. Williams. The details of his role are unknown, as are the details of the movie itself. But were you a fan of The Wire? Did you ever watch The Wire?
I've only watched, I think, 2 episodes of The Wire. It's one of those series that I've always gotta watch it, and I've never got round to watching it, so I do need to watch it. I watched the first 2 series of Boardwalk Empire, which he was in, and he was really good in that. Always reminds me with him was listening to the morning radio show that Kevin Smith did when he was in his Red State days, and he wasn't going to film anymore, and he wanted to concentrate on Smodcast radio and stuff, and he had him, was it Kevin? Michael
K. Williams.
Michael K. Williams in, and he was talking about Django Unchained.
Okay.
And about how he wanted to play that part. And I could see him in the part, but obviously
Samuel.
No. The guy that played Django. Jamie Foxx. Got the part. But he was sort of touting and trying to get Quentin Tarantino to whether he read for the part, I don't know. And there's a good bit of film, I don't know where I saw it must have been on YouTube, where it's him talking about his acting.
Right.
But there's like 4 or 5 of him and talking about how black actors get typecast and are very stereotyped, and there's all different versions of him all talking about what it's like being a black actor these days. So it's really, really funny. But yeah, I mean, look, they've got a fantastic cast. You can't. It's just you don't know who these people are playing. He might be playing a mocap character. He
could be a baddie.
He could be a bounty hunter. He could be
anything. Who knows?
Nobody knows.
Well, somebody does.
Yeah, somebody knows. Yeah,
catchphrase.
But it's the fact that it never hurts having good.
I was just going to say about he's got a very charismatic face.
He has.
He's got a very. When you see his face, he's almost, you'd recognise him. So if we're saying the name now and you think, oh, I can't picture him, if you were to see him,
but he's also got a face that could be, that looks quite evil.
Yeah,
could be quite a
good villain.
A good villain, yeah. And he's got that voice as well. He's got a very sort of deep, dark voice.
So, and Rian Johnson has now given a hint on this title, The Last Jedi. So we've been talking about this for weeks. Nate Richer got a nice birthday treat when he tweeted Rian directly asking what the title meant. The director gave a brief response. So Nate tweeted, "All I want for my birthday, at Rian Johnson, to tell me what The Last Jedi means." Rian then tweeted back saying, "It means the final Jedi. Happy birthday." So what do you make of that then?
Well, I was looking at this story as well today, and there's been an update on this. I got this from StarWarsNewsNet.com.
Okay.
And basically, I think Rian Johnson has started backtracking on his tweet, because he put on his Twitter account today, in reply to JID 2012, he said, "Everyone knows that last and final are synonyms, right? That mean they're exactly the same thing." So he's trying to imply that what he said, don't read anything into it.
Right.
Because the thought was that he's talking about the final Jedi ever, I assume. And then Matthew Thomason put, "I guess what everyone was expecting was like the last remaining Jedi, but final sounds different, like this is the end." And then Rian Johnson put, "Nope, both words can have either meaning."
Which is very true.
He's now made it. He's taken it back to it being more ambiguous and more that you can read what you want into it. He probably, as soon as he tweeted that, he probably thought, "Shit, what have I done now?" And I think that's a learning curve for any of these new directors, that they have to realise that it's Star Wars, so everybody, especially at this, because this is the calm before the storm. Because everybody is scrapping for every tiny little morsel of information.
Especially, it just goes, like you said, you love to see all of these bits and work out what's what.
Yeah.
And there's people that probably do it in a lot more minute way. Will break down every single thing that somebody says and say, and the nuances, maybe even listen to the conversation and say, "Well, he put a pitch on that. Does that mean that?" And
it's not just in things like that. It's like the books as well. I've listened to a few book reviews, and they will say, "Right, I now know who Snoke is because of this line in this book," which to me seems really like, would they do that? Would they put in a line in the book? Because surely then you can't just have that as fact and then not show it in the movies.
No.
Because the people that don't read the books, like myself, I've listened to a few on audio book, but you need to be told that information.
Yeah.
And unless there are people that would just watch the movies, it's the same as having characters show up in Rebels or in the Clone Wars that then turn up in the movies. I'm sure a lot of the people don't realise that Saw Gerrera was in the Clone Wars.
No.
Until they watch them, but they might not want to watch the Clone Wars. So it's having those things. I think it's a great idea to have it.
Yeah.
But it's that thing, it's a little bit more harder work because people then either A, don't know who these characters are, B, can't be bothered to watch 6 series of Clone Wars and 3 series of Rebels to get caught up and read 20 books to get every single bit of information. I mean, I get immersed as I can, but I don't read the books, and I haven't watched all of Clone Wars or all of Rebels.
Well, it's what's quite good. I mean, even though they introduce characters, like you said, from Rebels or Clone Wars and maybe even the books, so the real fanboys can go, "Oh, that's such and such."
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter then if a general Joe public go in and not know who it is, or maybe even care.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Because if they're going to go with that fanboy, they will. I think Disney and Star Wars as a company, and obviously they're in it at the end game to make money, wouldn't make that money because they'd lose the target audience. People aren't going to go and see something that's just full of in-jokes that normal people are just going to go, "Who? What the hell's going on?"
Exactly, and there are different levels. I've never been one to sort of go, "Oh, well, I'm a bigger Star Wars fan than you are because blah, blah, blah." But there are people, like I say, that will immerse themselves not just in every morsel of information that's on the internet, but the books and the TV series and the cartoons and the comics. And then there are some people that, which I sort of count myself as, that somebody that just sort of concentrates on the movie universe of it all.
I'm definitely in that camp. You know, the movies are, to me, is what Star Wars is about.
Yeah.
I know there's everything else, and I'm not going to knock it. But in my world, it's Star Wars, the films. Not...
But going back to my original point was that I think someone like Rian Johnson now and Colin Trevorrow, when he comes on to episode 9, is they slowly realise that every single thing I tweet, there is going to be somebody out there that goes, right, that means that.
Yeah.
And I think he's realised that with that tweet, which was a great tweet because, it means, the final Jedi. Mm. And he probably thought, or somebody at Lucasfilm has gone, you might want to pull back from that because people are going to start thinking it's this, that, and the other. But we'll do the same when the trailer comes out. And we'll see a scene and we'll think that means that, and it won't be. Yeah, it'll all be, it'll be completely different to what, we've been burnt, haven't we? All the time. But it's a fun burn. It is. It's fun. It is all fun about it. That's the thing. To me, trying to work out what's going on in my own little way makes it really exciting for when I see the film. Yeah. It really does. And then I can say, shit, I was miles out. I really didn't get that right. I really didn't get that right. Oh, that's that. Or, or where's that? Especially in trailers now. But it's all good fun. No, it's good fun. Well, not long to go. No, not long to go at all. The trailer, it will drop in April. So, what do you think on all of these stories? Do you think that the cast in Han Solo is good? Do you think J.J. Abrams should be slapped on the back and said, good work? Or do you think... Good work? Good work. Shush, Gavin. Good work. Anything you'd like to comment on this show, if you want to talk to Gavin, indeed. And let us know if you're going to Star Wars Celebration this year, if you're lucky enough to go to Orlando. It's Orlando, isn't it? Yes, in Florida. Let us know. Let us know what it is you're looking forward to going to see. Or if you're going to be like us and just you're going to be attached to the internet for that weekend. Well, apart from the Saturday, we won't be able to. And you can find all the information there, and we'll be able to watch the trailer like we did last year. I just want to see something. It's coming. I want to see some information. I want to see something. I want to see some footage. Yeah, so when you do leave us a comment, please don't forget to like this video. Indeed. And come and subscribe. Click on that button that should be up there somewhere. Come and subscribe and click the little bell icon. Ding, ding. And that will mean that every time we release a new video, you'll get notified about it straight away. Wow, brilliant. Yes. Thank you very much, Pav. Are we done? We are, that's it. So hopefully we'll see you next week. There won't be anything that we've forgotten that we're going to do that we're not going to do, but we might do, but we aren't going to do it because we did it last week. And that's why we weren't here this week, so we're going to do it next week. Oh, we'll be back to normal. Yes. Well, that's what you meant, isn't it? I meant. You just completely threw it. That's what I meant. Oh. So until next week, it's bye-bye from me. And I'm wiped out with oh, what's going on? Jedi mind tricks. Oh. Indeed. So may the Force be with you all. Wait.